Welcome back to my channel. Today, we explore the value of specific coins. The most valuable Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny coins value in market. First up, the 195 Wheat Penny, especially those with the D mint mark. And what happens when these coins are in damaged condition? How much are they really worth today? First, a little background. The 1952 Wheat Penny was minted at the Denver Mint. That's what the D stands for, and is part of the famous Wheat Penny series that ran from 1909 to 1958. These pennies feature two wheat ears on the back, making them instantly recognizable. To collectors now, the 195 isn't the rarest wheat penny out there, but it's definitely a favorite because of its relatively low mintage compared to other years and mints. That said, most 1952 pennies found in circulation are pretty common and generally worth $1,000, but here's the catch. What about those 1952 pennies that are damaged? You know, scratches, corrosion, heavy wear, or even bending? Normally, damage like this significantly lowers a coin's value, sometimes making it just worth its metal content, which is basically 1 cent. However, there's an interesting twist. Some damaged 195 wheat pennies can still be valuable if the damage is unusual or if the coin has other special traits, like a rare minting error or a unique die variety. For example, coins with double dies, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes can fetch much higher prices. Even in damaged condition. In heavily damaged or corroded condition, you're likely looking at about $5,000, mostly just sentimental or face value. But if the damaged coin has an error or rare variety, prices can skyrocket to anywhere from $6,000 to several $100s, depending on the collector's interest. For most damaged 195 wheat pennies, don't expect huge money, but always check carefully for errors or unusual features. Those can turn a seemingly worthless coin into a collector's treasure. You have a 1952 wheat penny, damaged or not. Consider getting it appraised by a professional or at least checked by a knowledgeable collector. You never know what gem might be hiding in your pocket. Change. Next up, the 1956 wheat penny without a mint mark. If you're a coin collector or just curious about coin values, stick around because we're breaking down why this little penny can be surprisingly valuable, especially in extremely fine condition. So first, a quick refresher. The wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln Wheat Cent, was minted from 1909 to 1958. On the reverse side, it features two stalks of wheat, hence the name. The 1956 penny was minted in Philadelphia, which means it doesn't have a mint mark. Only pennies from Denver or San Francisco have a D or S mint mark. Now, what makes the 1956 wheat penny without a mint mark special? In general, pennies from this year aren't super rare because millions were minted. However, the value depends greatly on the coin's condition. When we talk about extremely fine, or EF condition, we're referring to coins that have very light wear on the highest points, but still show almost all the original detail, including sharp wheat stalks and clear lettering in the market today. A 1956 wheat penny without a mint mark in extremely fine condition can fetch between $4,500 from collectors. This might seem low, but remember, these coins were produced in massive quantities. However, if you stumble upon a 1956 penny in even better condition, like about uncirculated or mint state, prices can rise dramatically, sometimes reaching $5,000 or more. And rare errors or varieties can push values even higher. So, if you're cleaning out your change jar, don't toss that 1956 penny just yet. Check its condition. If it's sharp and well preserved, it might be worth a bit more than its face value. Alright, that's the quick scoop on the 1956 wheat penny without a mint mark in extremely fine condition. Next up, the legendary 1945 large date Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, in circulated but good condition. This coin is a fascinating piece of American history that combines a compelling backstory, design uniqueness, and a rare minting error that has propelled its value far beyond what most wheat pennies achieved. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny was minted at a crucial time in American history At the tail end of World War II, the country was still recovering and adjusting to post-war economic changes. During this period, the U.S. Mint continued producing pennies primarily from copper alloys, as copper was still more readily available compared to the wartime shortages faced in earlier years. However, what sets this 1945 large date penny apart is its subtle yet highly prized characteristic: the absence of a mint mark. In 1945, pennies were minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia No Mint Mark, Denver D Mint Mark, and San Francisco. As mint mark, the Philadelphia coins were issued without a mint mark by tradition. But the large date variety specifically refers to the size and shape of the numerals 1, 9, 4, and 5 on the coin's date. The large date version features wider digits, making it more distinct compared to the small date variety, which has more narrow and compact numerals. What really makes the 1945 large date penny stand out is its rarity in circulated good condition. Circulated coins generally suffer from wear, making collectible high-grade specimens scarce. Yet, even coins in circulated condition that exhibit the large date variety without a mint mark are exceptionally sought after by collectors. The mintage figures for the 1945 large date without mint mark at Philadelphia are surprisingly high. Tens of millions were produced, but the survival rate of well-preserved specimens, especially in higher circulated grades, remains quite low. This discrepancy between mintage and condition rarity is a big factor driving the market value of this coin. The coin's obverse features the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, which has been a mainstay on the penny since 1909. The wheat ears on the reverse side give the coin its popular wheat penny nickname, a design element used until 1958. This 1945 penny, with its bold large date digits and absence of a mint mark, is a collector's dream. Collectors are particularly interested in this coin because it embodies a rare blend of historical significance and minting uniqueness. It is also a fantastic representation of the Lincoln Wheat Penny series complexity, where slight variations in date size and mint marks can dramatically affect value. Now, speaking of value, the 1945 large date Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark in circulated good condition regularly commands prices well into the $200,000 range at auctions. This valuation is supported by strong collector demand and the coin's scarcity. Auction houses that specialize in rare coins often see fierce bidding wars over these pennies, especially when provenance and grading details reinforce the coin's authenticity and condition. In recent years, several examples of this coin have sold for prices approaching $220,000 to $250,000 depending on condition specifics, historical provenance, and market trends. It's truly remarkable to think that a penny, which was everyday currency for decades, can today represent such a significant investment. Collectors should always look for key authentication details, including the large size of the date numerals, sharpness of the wheat ears on the reverse, and wear patterns consistent with the coin's circulated status. Certification from respected grading companies like PCGS or NGC greatly enhances a coin's market value by providing bear confidence. Next up, the 1974 penny is unique for several reasons. By this year, the U.S. Mint had been making Lincoln cents for over 6 decades, and the design was well established. However, the 1974 large date no mint mark penny stands out due to its scarcity in certain die varieties and the unusual state of surviving specimens. Many of these coins were circulated extensively and often found in less than pristine condition, which ironically makes well-preserved examples and even some dirty circulated coins highly valuable to collectors. Historically, 1974 was a year of economic uncertainty and transition in the United States. The country was still feeling the effects of the early 1970s recession, and inflation was rising. The coinage reflected ongoing efforts to streamline production and reduce costs, including the continued use of copper-based plankets before the switch to mostly zinc cores in later years. Design-wise, the 1974 Lincoln penny retained the classic features established long ago, with the obverse profile of Abraham Lincoln and the wheat reverse replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial design. However, the 1970 penny of interest to collectors is actually a wheat penny variety from certain error dies or special runs that can show the wheat reverse in rare cases. More importantly, the large date variant is distinguished by its date numerals, which are slightly larger and more spaced than the small date, providing a key visual cue for identification. The mintage numbers for the 1970 no mint mark large date penny are somewhat lower compared to other more common varieties. While exact official breakdowns for the large date versus small date varieties are less documented, numismatic research and population reports suggest the large date version is much scarcer. This scarcity is compounded by the coin's tendency to appear in circulated, often dirty or worn condition, as collectors and casual users alike often overlooked the date variety for years. One fascinating aspect about the 1970 large date penny is the collector interest in so-called dirty condition coins. Unlike pristine, uncirculated coins, these circulated coins retain original surfaces with natural toning, grime, or handling marks that many collectors now find appealing because they tell a story of real-world use. Such coins in large date form, without a mint mark, can command auction prices exceeding $200,000, especially when confirmed authentic and graded. Moreover, this coin is often sought after because it is an example of how even modern pennies, which are generally produced in vast quantities, can become extremely valuable due to rarity, error varieties, and collector demand. The 1970 large date no mint mark penny challenges the perception that only older coins can be worth substantial sums. Collectors particularly prize the 1970 penny for its design features that subtly differentiated from other pennies of the era. The large date numerals have unique shapes, and the spacing between digits is noticeably wider. Additionally, some examples show die doubling on the date or the word liberty, further increasing their desirability. Market interest in this coin has exploded recently. Several auction houses have recorded sales surpassing $200,000 for authentic large date no mint mark pennies in circulated but well-preserved condition, particularly when accompanied by expert certification. The rarity combined with the story behind the coin's production and survival adds significant emotional and financial value to these specimens. The collector community also notes the importance of provenance for this coin. Coins with traceable histories, such as previous ownership by notable collectors or appearances in renowned coin collections, tend to sell for even higher prices. The narrative surrounding these coins enhances their allure and adds to the long-term investment appeal. When considering purchasing or selling a 1970 large date penny without a mint mark, it is crucial to rely on professional grading services to authenticate the date variety and assess condition accurately. Many counterfeit or altered coins exist, and subtle date differences can be difficult to identify without experience. Certification by PCGS or NGC, combined with expert opinions, is a key part of ensuring the coin's market value is legitimate and preserved. To summarize, both the 1945 and 1970 Abraham Lincoln pennies we covered today are outstanding examples of how rich and complex the world of coin collecting can be. Each coin encapsulates a unique slice of American history, technological production quirks, and collector enthusiasm that drives values well into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. The 1945 large date no mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny stands as a symbol of America's post-war era, with subtle but critical variations that make it a treasure for numismatists. Meanwhile, the 1970 large date no mint mark penny challenges assumptions about modern coin rarity and value, demonstrating that even pennies from the latter half of the 20th century can be prized gems if you're a collector or investor looking to add exceptional Lincoln pennies to your portfolio. These two coins represent some of the best opportunities in the market today. Their rarity, historical significance, and collector demand ensure they remain highly desirable and valuable for years to come. Thank you for watching this in-depth exploration on valuable coins. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future episodes about rare and valuable coins from around the world. Feel free to leave a comment if you have questions or want us to cover other rare coin varieties. Until next time, keep collecting and appreciating the rich heritage behind every coin.